Welcome to the Morale Booster Network, a platform for entrepreneurs, career professionals, leaders, and the general public to give back to the society through coaching and mentoring. I remain your host, Dr. John Ugulu. I am an author, speaker, and strategist. I always say experience is the best teacher. You can stream or download this podcast from YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, Google Podcast, Player FM, and Pandora. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hello, and welcome to the Morale Booster Podcast. I am Dr. John Ugulu, your host. In this season of From Idea to Impact, we will be navigating the journey of an author. We will dive deep into the creative process, the challenges, and the triumphs that come with bringing a book to life. In this episode, we are thrilled to welcome our guest, Dr. Katherine Y. Brown. She is an author. She is an author of several books, in fact, great books. But while we are watching right now, I don't know where you are watching us from. Please remember to like and share this broadcast. I am doing the same thing right now, and I will be sending the link to Dr. Katherine so you too can share it. Dr. Katherine Brown is an educator. She is a mentor, global philanthropist, and national CPR spokesperson. Now, ask anyone, and they will tell you that Dr. Katherine Brown is a person to know when it comes to leading CPR initiatives. There's probably no place she has not gone and no place she is not willing to go to help save lives by teaching CPR. From biker bars, sidewalks, homeless shelters, housing projects, churches, schools, and the list goes on. Dr. Brown provides transformative experiences, leaving audiences inspired, empowered, and focused on the goal of CPR preparedness. In fact, she was at an event that Mented Christian University organized some time ago. She was a keynote speaker, an amazing speaker. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, please join us as I welcome no other person but Dr. Brown to the Morale Booster podcast. Welcome to the Morale Booster, Dr. Katherine Brown.
Thank you so much for having me here
Oh,
today.
we cannot hear you. Okay, I can hear you now.
It's an honor to be here with you today on the Morale Booster podcast. I'm so excited, just so excited. So thank you for having me.
You're welcome, ma'am. And so what I would do now is I would send the link to you so you can share it on your platform. We are live right now, so you can tell your audience we are live. So yes, I am searching for you on. Oh, okay. If you can, do you think you would be able to share directly from our page?
Yep, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Yes.
Social
Yes.
media.
How? Sorry.
I say I love social media in action.
Awesome. That's great. That's the whole idea. And what part of the country are you joining us from right now?
I am currently joining you from Nashville, Tennessee, but I always love to share that I am originally from Chicago, Illinois, on the South Side, true Chicago, but I'm in Nashville now.
Yes. Awesome. Great, great, great. And how is the weather over there?
You know, it's a bit chilly, but I shouldn't say that being from Chicago, but it's a little nip in the air. It's about 30 degrees today, but it's a beautiful fall November day.
Okay, that's great. Thank you for letting us know. I am currently in Atlanta, Georgia. It's a bit chilly. And but well, in all, we thank God for life because so many people actually went to bed last night having plans for today. So many plans, but unfortunately, some couldn't see daylight. But you and I, we're here right now because we are blessed with the gift of life. So it is indeed an honor, a privilege, a blessing to be alive this moment. And not just that, being out here showcasing, coming here to do things that would inspire people out there. So thank you for joining us on this program. Thank you.
Thank you.
Uh, all right, ma'am. Let's go straight into our business for today. Um, Apart from the CPR coaching and mentoring that you do, you are an author of several books. You are an educator. Could you please share with us how do you manage your time doing all these? I know you are a college professor or teacher, a lecturer. You do CPR. So how do you manage to
How do you
get?
do it all?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm so thankful that I am always having the opportunities to serve as a guest lecturer throughout academic institutions throughout the nation. So I never take that lightly to sow into the lives of the next generation of leaders. But I will say it's so important to have a plan and be disciplined with your time. You have to be clear and consistent and follow through. And that's how I do it. I one of the books that I'll share shortly is really about embracing your no, because I have to know what I'm going to say yes to and what I'm going to say no to. And what I say yes to means I have to commit to it. That means waking up every day. I have my meditation time, I have my exercise time, and I have my writing time. You have to build consistency. And people who are inconsistent in their daily agenda tend to be inconsistent in their outcome and their deliverables. So that's my key, is making time for family every day, also making time for me and being consistent.
That resonates with me, and thank you for sharing that. Making time. They say we cannot control time, but
Mhm.
there is something we can control, and that is our activities. We can actually control our activities. So thank you so much for sharing that. That truly, truly resonates with me. I remember when you and I were having a conversation prior to coming live on this program. We talked about something that I was supposed to send you an email for. And the next thing I did was to write it down, right? Because
That's it.
Emily Dickinson said the brain is wider than the sky. And if we do not take control of how we utilize our time, then it becomes challenging, you
Yeah.
know. So, yes, thank you so much for sharing. Now, tell us, how many books have you published in total?
I've published 10 books in total. 10 books, and it takes time to do that, but 10 books in total.
10. That's a lot. And I know more are still in the works. More will still come.
We're still in
Because
the work.
you still have so many years ahead of you to live a good life.
That exactly. And my approach to the writing process has really been the way that my journey has manifest. My writing style is I would say very unique, because in most of the books that I write, there is a part where that person has to take ownership and do some reflection and some journaling, because that is part of the process. You can't just pick up a book and get the answers. You have to do the work. And when you have the days, maybe you didn't do what you thought you wanted to do, get up and do it for 1 minute. Even if you said, I'm going to write for an hour, and you don't write for 1 minute, write for 2 minutes. You have to start where you are. Do what you can every day. And so that's really how my journey started. And once I started, believing in myself and my abilities to do this and help people through transformation, that was my intention. Every time I leave a book, I want to leave something that's timeless. I want the book to be very timeless, that if I am not here anymore, you can pick up that book and you can learn something from it. And I think that is one of many authors' goals, is for the book to be timeless and to live beyond us. We're leaving a nugget, a glimpse of something that will help the reader.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing that. And, typically it could be challenging to imagine that one would become an author. Only a
Yes,
few, only a handful of people knew from when they were babies or
yes,
when they were young that they would become authors.
that's right.
So now, what inspired you to start writing, and was there a particular moment or experience that set you on that path?
So I will say that I started doing the Dr. Catherine Y. Brown KYB Leadership Academy in 2016. And so I had a curriculum and I was working with mentorship. I've mentored hundreds of leaders, but I found that we needed to have something that was tangible to be able to scale it. And in that thought process of, I have to have a tool, I have to have a curriculum, that is where the original writing concept came from. I delayed for a while though, and I want people that are listening to know that just because you delay it does not mean it's denied. And what that means is that I had written so many books, but I had to have the courage to publish them. And there is a vulnerable aspect to publishing because every book isn't for every person. Yeah. And so that was really my starting process to say, you know what? I believe that this is going to help change lives because I've used it with my scholars and people around the world, and it's changing lives. And that is how I came to first start to publish it, because I was already doing it. I just hadn't formalized it in that way. And that led me to the first one that I published, which is called I Am Amazing. That wasn't the first one that I wrote, but I Am Amazing was the catalyst, and it was the first one that I published. And what led me to continue is I went to Trinidad and Tobago and I used I Am Amazing with students there throughout schools. I did the same thing in Nashville. And the more that I used the book, people started to say, oh my gosh, Dr. Catherine, I didn't know that I was amazing. And that empowered me to say, this book needs to get to more people. Because if you don't believe that you are amazing, when life throws you a curveball, which it will, it's hard to have resilience. And I want people to know that there is a missing piece in the universe that can only be completed by you. But you have to believe that you are amazing, and you have to have the courage to complete the assignment. And that's where the first book, I Am Amazing, came from. And even when I designed the cover, and I'll show it to you, the cover, you see the person is reaching up, right? All of this was intentional. It's a certain posture that you have when you say, you know what? I am amazing. And I started to get people to say that. And then there was auditoriums and people were shouting, I am amazing. I am amazing. There's something that happened, and I saw the shift. And that's when I went from idea to impact. And once I made that impact, it opened up the opportunity for the next one to be written. So I believe that we all have a book inside of us. We all have a story to tell, but you have to have the courage. And that starts with believing that I am amazing and I have a story and I'm worthy to share that story with other people.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I am amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are still listening to us, remember to like and share this broadcast right now. And when you have done that, I want you all to repeat this wherever you are. Say, I am amazing. She just reminded us that we are amazing. Yes, you who's listening to us, I don't know where you're listening from. You are amazing. Yes, you are amazing. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing. We're still live with Dr. Katherine Brown. We will be going to the next question. And my question is, just like we've been told in personal development, that life would always throw you curveballs. We're talking about Murphy's Law here. Murphy's Law says whatever can go wrong will surely go wrong, right?
That's
Now,
right.
Yeah. So, what challenges did you face during your writing journey when you first started, and how were you able to overcome those challenges?
The first challenge that I faced was, again, just putting pen to paper. The second challenge is finding out who you're going to publish with. I had an amazing person who I thought was going to be the perfect publisher for my first book, but there were so many delays that it never happened. And having the courage to say, this is not the right season for me to work with this publisher because I am not a priority and I deserve a publisher who's going to make me a priority. And that's a huge challenge. And then having the courage to find a publisher. I Am Amazing is published through True Vine Publishing. And when I met Mr. Bond, he was phenomenal and he made me a priority. He has tons of authors, but I knew I was a priority. And that's another challenge. The other challenge that we don't often talk about is it's one thing to write a book, but that doesn't get you book sales. You have to go out and you have to promote your book. You have to promote yourself. You have to do it every single day. You have to learn the power of negotiation. And I see so many authors and they write a book and they say, I got a book. Okay. That's not going to make you a best-selling author. That's not going to get your book. Who's reading your book? And if you think that you're going to write one book and just publish it and all of a sudden this residual income is coming in, you're really mistaken, because it doesn't come in unless you are selling books, right? So part of being an author is also the dissemination of the publication. And so I have self-published on Amazon as well. And so you have to know how you're going to disseminate it. If it's better for you to self-publish, to go through a publisher, what that looks like. If you get an actual contract, it's so many aspects of publishing that people don't know about. And I think that was a challenge, that you have to realize that this is work. And so my books are international. I have them in university in Africa. I have them in schools. In Trinidad, they're out there. They're in Nashville. Why? Because I do the work. I don't want people to hear that the books are these places and thinks that it's easy, because that was a challenge. The challenge is every day you have to get up and you have to do the work. You have to have the courage to get out there, and everybody's not going to give you a yes. Even when you begin to have speaking engagements, you have to make sure that your book is negotiated. This book that I want to share with you, I Am Courageous, right? I Am Courageous is currently in the Nashville airport in the Tennessee Tribune bookstore. And I am thankful to Mrs. Rosetta Miller Perry and the entire team, because they had to review my books and decide which one. But I love the fact that when you go to the Nashville airport and you go to the Tennessee Tribune bookstores that are in that airport, you can get your copy of I Am Courageous. That takes work, Dr. John. That doesn't happen overnight. That's one book that's in there. That doesn't mean that that was the only book that I pitched to them. That means that was the book that they selected. That's part of the process, because you're going to get some yeses and you're going to get some not nows, and sometimes you'll get some no's. My greatest lessons have been those times of having to fall and get back up, because the more you get back up, it makes a difference. The last thing I'll say in terms of the hurdles, I had to learn how to master the volume of no's that it will take to get to the volume of yeses. If I only try something one time and it's a no, it's a no. I have what I call my list, my top 100. I always have 100 leads in queue at all time. Once I hit 10 leads, I replenish my 100 list. So I'm always looking at 100 places that I can promote my books, 100 places that I can speak and share my books. I now know how to have the courage to negotiate that in speaking engagements. All of it all goes together. If somebody wants you to be a speaker, you should be asking if you can have a table set up afterwards to do a book signing. It should always be part of the process. You have to learn to believe in yourself Because if you don't believe in yourself, you're never going to get the opportunities. So that's kind of the, again, part of that journey. And that's why I'm so thankful. I was very thankful, again, having courage when the Minister of Education in Trinidad and Tobago gave us an approval to share our I Am Amazing book and program with students in the school system. That takes work and it takes time. So learning patience is part of that hurdle that most authors won't tell you about, so that when it happens, you think you failed. You think you're not worthy because they didn't tell you the truth of their journey. And I am more of a vulnerable and transparent author. I'm going to tell you, you can do it. And if you get told no 1,000 times, I'm going to tell you again, you can do it. You can do it. You got to get back up. You keep getting back up until you get the yeses, because this is not for the faint at heart. It's not for the faint. That's how I do the work. And those are some of the lessons that I've had to learn. Those are some of the struggles. You got to get back up. Get back up. Do it 1,000 times. You do it 1,000 times, do it 2,000 times. I never stop. I'm a relentless force, and I'm going to keep trying every day, and I'm going to empower other people, which is why a lot of my scholars in KYB have become published authors by working with me as well.
Wow, that's great. Thank you for sharing. Those are powerful nuggets that you just shared with us. For those of you who are still listening, the information she just gave to you right now, trust me, you could pay thousands of dollars just to get that information.
Yeah.
And that's why the Morale Booster is here, for you to always learn. We bring people like herself to come here and share their wisdom with everybody. So if you have not shared this broadcast, please do that. Like and share it so that somebody on your contact list can also benefit from this program. Thank you so much for sharing. You talked about something which is very, very vital, very key. People write books, and at the end of the day, they just feel it's all about writing the books. And when they finish writing the books, they realize that they could go for years without even making sales. And you talked about persistence. You talked about putting in the work, right? Now, that person who has written a book and still has not been able to make any sales till date, what would be your advice for that person? The best way to start from easily.
Oh, yeah. My best advice for someone who has written a book is first to celebrate the win. You've done the work. You've done something that many people don't have the courage to do. You've written a book. The next thing I would say to you is to start with your current circle. There are different spheres of influence. So I want you to first start with the people that know you, that like you, that trust you. These are going to be your family members, your friends, those who are in organizations with you, and maybe who are part of your faith-based or other communities. I want you to reach out to them and ask them to have a special signing event for you, and tell them that you want to pre-sale the books before the signing event so that they have the books. If every single one of those people in your closest sphere of influence just get 10 people or 20 people, let's say they get 20 people and you do that 5 times, that's 100 books that are sold. The next thing I want you to do when that goes well, I want you to take pictures, because if you didn't document it, it didn't happen. Take pictures and then begin to share those pictures in social media and with other people. You should have a website. If you have a website, you should be sharing that website. You should be sharing nuggets of what you're doing. So that's part of the process as well. Also contact smaller local bookstores and see if they are interested in giving your book a trial run. The smaller bookstores often have a very dedicated base of people who support, so you want to try that as well. I mean, I can go on and on because, as you know, I'm also a professional consultant for authors and for businesses, but that is part of the strategy. It's the law of duplication. You have to keep duplicating it. So if I'm in an organization with you, let's say we share a mutual organization, that first organization has the event for you. Then you want to reach out to the regional office to the national office or even to the international office of that same organization, because you want to see if other chapters within that one organization are willing to duplicate it for you, the law of duplication, because that's just one branch. So if you did that across 5 organizations and you contacted other chapters within your own city and then within your own state and then around the nation, the law of duplication. All of that matters. So I want to tell you, if you've written a book, you've done the work. The next thing I want you to do is practice every day, 10 people every day, starting with your closest sphere and spanning out 10 per day. 10 a day is what I want you to start out, and you will get success, but you got to put in the work. If you don't put in the work, nothing plus nothing equals nothing. Something plus something, hey, that's something. Don't do nothing when you want something to happen. You got to do the work.
Yes, you've got to do the work. Thank you so much for sharing. That's a beautiful, I also learned some new things from you regarding that. And yes, we will implement that on our end. Thank you so much for sharing. So let's go to the next question.
Yeah.
What role do you think community or feedback from readers and other writers has played in your development as an author?
So I believe feedback is important and community is important. But let me tell you about feedback. You have to respect the person's opinion that you're getting the feedback from, or you're never going to take the feedback. You also have to be mindful of who you seek feedback from. If I want to become a best-selling author, why am I asking for feedback on how to do that from someone who doesn't have a book? I might ask them for feedback as a reader, but I might not ask them feedback on how to do that. I have a friend who got the Kennedy Award, the Peabody Award, major journalists. That's who I go to for feedback about the work that I'm doing, because they're going to give me a critical eye and critical feedback on how to do this. And so that really is important. So feedback is important. You have to be willing to listen to the feedback. You also have to be willing to filter the feedback. I determine what part of your feedback I want to integrate into my life. It's like a strainer. You know how you have pasta and you strain it? I decide what I keep, and the rest I let go down the drain if I don't believe it's relevant to where I'm going. Some people say, oh my gosh, Dr. Katherine, you got a journal part in a lot of your books. People don't want to do the work. Then I'm not the author for them, because I want them to know when you come to my books, you're going to expect to do the work. And those who love that, they love me. They're like, oh my gosh, you made me work for it. I just wrote the words. You determine how you would apply them to your life, but I sure hope that by reading it, you did do the work. That came from feedback, because I had a community of people who gave me feedback because they understood what my goal was. My goal was not to have a simple self-help book. I wanted something where I had quotes, where I had text, where I had opportunities for reflection. I wanted all these things in there. My books also have the ability to scale. That came from feedback. And when I say scale, my book can be used as a 6-session mastermind. It could be used for a lunch and learn. It could be used for a workshop. It could be used for a keynote. It could be used for a college course. All of that way that I did that, it came from feedback. So feedback is important. Community is important, but you have to know who you are before you can take feedback. I knew what my goal was, and I sought feedback from people who could help me achieve that goal. So another one of the books that I have, a letter to myself, I'm now using that in the recovery community, because I believe that also, it was needed and it could fit that population. So my books can be scaled to different target groups as well.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So I believe everyone has heard what you just said. Feedback is important, but you determine what
Yeah.
part of the feedback you need for your book. Thank you so much for sharing that. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, remember to like and share this broadcast because you might just be saving the life of that one person who has been waiting for a lifetime to hear the message that she just passed. All right. Thank you so much. And where can people find your books? Those who want to purchase your books, where can they get them from?
So I do have them. They're on Amazon. They're in Barnes and Nobles. I also have them on the True Vine Publishing website, and I have a couple of them if I can share. One of them is called Journal. This one features the voices of some of my scholars, and it's the journey of optimism, understanding, reflection, nurturing, acceptance, and love. So it's called Journal. I shared with you I Am Courageous in a letter to myself. Never Forget You is exclusively right now on Amazon, and this is for caregivers. It's a 5-step guide to self-care. I do masterminds with this group. So if people want me virtually or in person, we go through these 5 steps together of Never Forget You. One of my most popular ones right now, Dr. John, that you can get on Amazon or from the publisher or my website, is called Embrace Your No, because your yes is as powerful as your no. And then I also have Imbalance, which you can get online, which is a perception of unfulfillment of the modern day woman. And then the I Am Authentic book. This is being used by groups who are leading transformation circles, workshops, because it's 103 life-changing tips that's in here. And the other one I shared with you was the letter to myself, which we're also using in very diverse audiences. This has been used on college campuses, and all types of groups have done this letter to myself, where they write a letter to their fear, their failure, and their success. So reach out to me, they can, at Dr. Katherine Y. Brown at gmail.com, or they can visit the website, which is kybleaders.com. But I'm all over social media just like you. So, but you got to remember the Y, Katherine with a K, and you got to remember that middle initial of Y, or you won't find me, because it was too many Katherine Browns on many other publishers' websites. And so that is one of my signatures, Dr. John. When people say, how do you find me? If you just put Katherine Brown, there are thousands of them. So you have to look me up as Dr. Katherine Y. Brown. That's actually part of specifically my brand as an author, so that people can find me. Or they can tag right below when they like and share this post, and I will keep an eye on this post. So, hey, tag the Morale Booster. And if you want some more information from me, I'll keep an eye on it below and follow up with you.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing. And like she said, her information is with every one of you there. You can follow her on Facebook, Instagram. Her information is just there right with you. Go follow her right now. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. She is
everywhere.
there.
I'm everywhere.
Yes, Dr. Katherine Y. Brown. Katherine with a K. Dr. Katherine Y. Brown. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. And if you've got any questions regarding what she has talked about today, please feel free to send her a direct message on her social media platform. And whenever she has the time, she will reply. You do not expect an instant reply. She will reply you when she has the time. All right. So thank you so much for being on this program, Dr. Katherine Brown. It's been a pleasure and a privilege. And before we let you go for today, what we typically do is we always encourage our guests to say some words of wisdom, words of inspiration. And for you, I would want you to help us inspire, help us encourage that man or that woman who is going through challenging times, who feels that all their labor has been in vain and things are not working in their favor and they're about to give up. So, just for 1 minute, please help us talk to them.
Yeah. One of the things I want to share, thank you for the question, Dr. John, and thank you for the opportunity. I want you to write, because this episode was about writing, authorship. Write through your pain, write it down. And I want you to know that whatever you are going through, the best is yet to come. Tomorrow is waiting on you. And what's to come has truly been better than what has been. I want you to know that you are amazing, you are worthy. You are here for a reason. If you woke up and you're listening to this podcast and you're listening under the sound of my voice, you're here for a reason. Don't give up. Don't give in. Everything that you need is inside of you. Believe that you have the power because we believe in you and the world is waiting on you. So I'm sending you a virtual heart filled with love and admiration. And I want you to walk in your purpose and complete the assignment that only you can do. The world is waiting on you.
Yes, the world is waiting on you. You have a purpose to fulfill on earth. And yes, it is your duty to quickly get on that and fulfill that purpose. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure and a privilege having you on this program. And I hope when next I invite you, you will be willing to come back and share some words of wisdom.
Absolutely, absolutely, Dr. John. I got another book coming out, and when I finish that one, if you want me back, I will definitely come back with or without the
Sure.
book. I support you. Thank you.
All right, not a problem. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed the conversation. And, I always tell people that whatever has a beginning surely has an end. We have gotten to that point where we need to bring this program to a close. So we are excited to share some amazing ways for everyone to stay connected with our mission and also to continue to grow together. And whether through donations, inspirational resources, or becoming a part of our community, your support and engagement means the world to us. And here's how you can get involved with what we do. Number one is you can support our mission and help us continue uplifting lives by making a donation. Yes, it doesn't matter what part of the world you're listening to us from, you can support us with a donation. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and whatever donations you make are tax deductible. Nothing is too small to support the mission. Your generosity allows us to keep spreading hope and positivity. And secondly, if you're looking for inspiration, you can check out our collection of inspirational books that are designed to motivate and encourage you on your journey. All you need to do is visit our website, www.johnugulu.com, www.johnughulu.com. Right there on that website, you can make donations. You can also purchase inspirational books. When you get there, click on resources, and yes, you will go straight to the page where you can find our books. And also, you can tune into our latest podcast episodes on that same website, www.johnugulu.com. Podcast series where we share powerful messages of hope, resilience, and personal growth. Listen now and let the words lift your spirit. And lastly, you can become a part of our growing community where we uplift and inspire one another every day. You can subscribe for just $10 today and receive exclusive content, daily motivation, and access to special events. Thank you for being a part of this journey with us. Together, we can continue to make a lasting impact and spread positivity in all we do. Now, you who's listening to me right now, I don't know what part of the world you're listening to us from. I don't even know what you know about yourself. Neither do I know what the people around you know about you. But there is one thing that I know for sure about you. I know you have greatness within you. I know you have everything within you to transition from where you are to where you want to be. I know you have everything within you to become the best version of yourself. And remember, today is the first day of the rest of your life. Stay blessed and bye for now. Bye, everybody.